In 2022, the Toronto condo market in the 416 area code of Toronto represented over 60% of all the transactions. And that's why I spend so much time on this channel talking about condos, because how the condo market moves will then dictate how the rest of the market plays out. What I want to do on today's video is give you a breakdown on the first 3 months of 2023, show you what is going on in the Toronto condo market. My name is Tom Story, and I appreciate you being back here on the channel. If you learn anything new in today's video, all I ask is give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already, make sure to join our growing community and subscribe as we are on the way to 10,000. As you're watching this video, if you have any specific questions for me, if you're thinking about getting into the condo market or getting out of the condo market for whatever reason, you can go into the first link in the description and book an appointment at a time that works for you. I'd also like to make something clear is that as I go throughout this video, everything I'm going to give you is based on something that has actually happened in my business or that is backed up by the stats. So none of this is theory. These are facts. These are things that have actually happened. If you're wondering why you should even take advice from me on the condo market, well, it is something we are very, very active in. We sell lots of homes as well. But last year for downtown Toronto resale condos, our team was number 2 out of all the realtors that exist in Toronto. The news reports so far in 2023 have been all over the place in terms of what's happening. And that's because there's so many micro markets happening in the entire country. And even if we talk about the GTA, like there's so many different pockets that making a blanket statement about what's happening in the market is really unfair. And you're hearing that offer dates are slowly creeping back into the market, and freehold properties in a certain pocket of Toronto are actually getting multiple offers on almost everything. But that's not necessarily what's happening in the condo market, and that's what I want to talk about in today's video. If we're comparing just to the last 6 months of 2022, then yes, the market is a lot more active now than it was before. And I'm seeing that in the data, not just the data from the Toronto Real Estate Board, but from our own listings. We are seeing more showings, more offers, and in some circumstances, multiple offers as well. But the multiple offers in the condo market are typically happening under a certain price range. And what I'm seeing is under 600,000 or maybe 650,000. That's getting you that 1+ den in downtown Toronto. There's a lot of demand in that segment of the market. But as you go up in price and go over 800,000 for condos, the market cools off a little bit. The good stuff is still moving. If you go over $1 million, it's a totally different conversation. The condo market over $1 million represents a much smaller portion of all the sales that happen, and it is still pretty slow in that segment of the market. Now, ultra luxury stuff is a whole different conversation as well, but that market doesn't fluctuate as much with the rates as the more affordable stuff does. And even though some condos are getting multiple offers, like we had a bachelor unit in King West that we listed for sale that we got 5 offers on. 4 of the 5 offers were still conditional. So even though there was multiple offers, it's not like everyone was coming in firm way over asking price. So I hope that cleared things up a little bit on where we're at in today's market. The market has gotten better month over month, and it does feel more active from what we saw last year. But that statement could probably be made for most markets based on Bank of Canada holding the rates and that consumer confidence slowly creeping back into the market. All right, so now let's jump into the data. The first thing that I'm going to show you is the March numbers for all of Toronto for condo sales. So what we're looking at here is that in March so far, we've had 798 condo sales with a median price of $650,000. The average price is $736,000, and the sale to list price ratio is just over 100. You got an average days on market of 23, a median days on market of 13, and 32.6% of all the condos that have sold in the city of Toronto in March have gone over the asking price. Of course, keep in mind that a lot of those over the asking price condo sales had manufactured lower price points, so it doesn't actually mean they sold for more than they were worth. If we look over here on the right column, this is the biggest thing that I'm focusing on right now with buyers, depending on where you want to get into the market. The $500,000 to $600,000 range is representing a lot of the sales, and the $600,000 to $700,000 range is actually the most active in the condo market. And then you can see as you go over 800,000, it drops off significantly. So this is not news. This is not new necessarily, but it is interesting to see in the data is that, yes, condo market is active, but my stance on condos has always been the same thing. I think condos are great investment vehicles in terms of the fact that as a first-time home buyer, you can buy a condo. As an investor, you can buy a condo. As a downsizer, you can buy a condo. And if you want luxury condo, they exist as well. Where if you want to buy a house in the city of Toronto, well, the average sale price is over $1.1 million. You're going to need a lot more money to get started in that asset class. Now, the next chart I'm going to show you is specifically looking at the downtown condo markets, right? CO1 and CO8. I talk about these markets a lot on this channel because that is where the most amount of condos exist. So let's go over the first 3 months of 2023 in CO1 and CO8 and show you what is actually happening on the ground level. Okay, so what we are looking at here is CO1 at the top. Now, I put King West and Fort York, but that includes lots of different areas as well in terms of Liberty Village. You've got City Place, Waterfront. It is basically west of Yonge Street to the water. It goes west all the way to Dufferin and north all the way to Bloor. You look at January average sale price, $777. February, $803. And March, we've dropped off a little bit here on the average price, but I don't put a whole lot of stock into average price anymore. I really like looking at median prices. It gives you a much better representation of what the market's actually doing. So January, $678. Then you saw February 675, about the same. And then you saw that jump up to 730 in March. So we have seen a slight uptick in the condo market. You're also seeing that represented in the days on market slowly coming down month over month. The condo market, for the most part, in these areas is still very close to a balanced market, slightly pushing maybe to a seller's market, but just on the cusp of it, really in the balanced market territory. If you then look at CO8, which is east of Yonge Street to the DVP, you're south to the water and north to Bloor, you got an average sale price in January of $728. In February, you got $738, and in March, you jumped up to just under $800,000. But remember, let's focus in on the median pricing here. $655 in January, $683 in February, and March an even $700,000. You're also seeing the days on market slowly decrease over time. As I've said in a lot of my previous videos, is that I don't think you have to come to any conclusion based on 3 months of data, but it's all I have so far for this year, and it is kind of interesting. So if you are a seller of a potential condo, you're probably encouraged by this data. If you are a potential buyer of a condo, you're saying, well, are they going to keep going up, or is this just a moment in time where they're going to drop off? And the answer is, I have no clue. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going to happen. I will continue to report the data to you. My gut, and this is like totally a guess, so don't hold me to this, is that probably we're going to see prices hold for a little while here. They're going to be steady for a period of time. January was an overall low month, and February, March have been pretty similar for lots of different asset classes. And the spring will be the spring, and then we'll ride into the summer. I don't anticipate any massive upticks or downticks in the next few months, but Bank of Canada doing something could also change my mind. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. My name is Tom Story, and remember, home is where your story begins.